Good morning. I am Miss Leigh-Ann from the Carbondale Public Library, and today we are going to be visiting Asia through our books that I'm going to tell you about and our craft. And this is part of the Lackawanna County Library System Winter Challenge. And I'll include the link in the description, and then you could find out how you could sign up in that link. So, like I said, at first I'm going to start with our books. Actually, before I start with our books, I'm going to show you this map, and we are going to find Asia on the map. So first I'll give you a chance to take a look at it. And then I'm going to flip back and I'm going to show you that Asia is over here. See that over here, and part of Russia. I'm not sure if I mentioned it last week, but Russia is actually on two continents. Part of it is in Europe, and part of it is in Asia. So our first book is Asia by John Sun, published by Scholastic. And this one is just like a general overview of Asia. You could learn about the landforms that are in Asia. It's very diverse. The animals, plants, and people, and those are all very diverse too. There's a map. There's actually a couple kinds of maps. There's a map that shows you the countries. And there's also a map that shows you the landforms. So there's mountains, and plateaus. There's also a map that shows you the biomes too. And like I said, it's very diverse. You have rainforest, you have mountains, you have deserts, and lots in between. Our next two books are part of the Where Is series, and those are published by Penguin, I think it's the Penguin Workshop, which is part of Penguin Random House. And so we have Where Is the Taj Mahal by Dorothy and Thomas Hubler, and Where Is the Great Wall by Patricia Brennan Dumoff. And those are a very popular series that you can check out, and you can learn about those two sites that are in Asia. My next book is called Extra Credit by Andrew Clements, and this is published by Anthem Books for Young Readers. This actually takes place in both the United States and Afghanistan. And these two kids, we have Abby and Sadid, who become pen pals. Now, Abby, in the beginning, she's just doing it because she needs extra credit. But as she starts doing the project, she really starts to enjoy it. And she learns a lot about Sadid's life in Afghanistan and makes a friend. But unfortunately, not everyone is happy about them writing back and forth. So you'll have to read to find out how that concludes. And our picture book, Monsoon Afternoon. It is written by Kashmira Chef, illustrated by Yoshiko Yagi, and it is published by Peachtree. So you can follow this young boy and his grandfather and their adventures during a monsoon in India. A monsoon is a very heavy rainfall, and they have a fun day in the rain together. So our next element is I'm going to be zooming in to the table area here so you can see the project. One thing I wanted to show you before we get moving on to our project is also in the description you'll find a link that will take you to a virtual library, and this will be the page for Asia. Now this virtual library is interactive, so you will have these countries that are in bold. If you click on them, they will take you on a virtual tour to someplace in that country. We have some links to some of the library's e-resources. You will need your library card to log on. Then I also have books here for you to take a look at, and those link to our catalog, so you can put them on hold, or you could even give us a call to put them on hold for pickup. So you can explore lots of different you can explore Asia in lots of different ways. So our project, we are going to make a peacock craft. The peacock is the national bird of India, which is part of Asia. So this bird here, with the sparkly bird and the blue feathers and the sparkly pipe cleaners, will be available at the library to pick up. You'll pick up your kit to be able to make this peacock. Today I'm going to show you how to make it. I'm going to use other kinds of supplies. So if you don't have all the sparkly materials, you can still make this project at home. If you don't have a chance to stop by the library, or you don't live near Carbondale Public Library, Pennsylvania, you could still make this at home, and I'll show you some of the materials, other variations. We're still going to use pipe cleaners, but you could just use any pipe cleaners you have. They don't have to be the sparkly ones. And same thing with the paper. I have some blue paper here that I'm going to use, and we have some small feathers that will be part of it. And I pre-glued. I did this part already. So we have some larger blue feathers. You could use green. Peacock feathers tend to be, you can see the green more, but they tend to have like multicolors. The blues and greens and yellows. I had blue feathers, so I'm going to use blue because that's what I had. And I wanted to show you that you could just use what you have. It doesn't have to be exact. We have 4 pipe cleaners. There are actually 2 pipe cleaners that have each been cut in half. We have 2 smaller feathers. We have yellow paper that I cut from the scrap paper. I cut a beak and his crest that will go on top of his head, and the body. The body, I just cut out a piece of paper kind of in a bowling pin shape. If you want, you can make yourself a pattern if you're more comfortable doing it on scrap paper and then trace it onto paper, but whatever you're comfortable with. I did use a pattern for myself because I wanted to practice it first. You will need glue. And I'm going to draw his eyes on. So I am going to need crayons. And you will need scissors to cut out your pieces here that I already cut out. Now if you're doing this at home, and you will need your popsicle stick. If you're doing this at home, I do recommend hot glue for this part, but you can use white glue. This one was made with white glue. It just takes a little longer to dry, so you have to be patient. But white glue will work. You just have to be patient, glue it on, and then leave it for a while. I made this one this morning. It is, it's mostly dry, but it's still a little slightly wet. So you might want to do one part the day before, or one part in the morning and one part at night. Whatever works for you. And the kits from the library, these will already be done for you, so they'll stay on well for you. So let's see. I'm going to take my pipe cleaners, I'm going to fold them in half, kind of like almost like a teardrop shape. I'm going to twist the bottom so they stay that way. And once again, I'm using materials that I had. I did get some of those sparkly ones for your kits, but for this one, I want to show you that it's okay to use whatever you have. So I did happen to have blue. I didn't have any green, but I had some white, so I'm just going to use my white ones. Okay, so we're going to make his eyes. This part you can use a glue stick for. I'm going to just use some white glue because that's what I have right here. But you just have to use a little. I almost used too much there. Something else with his crest. I did some little snips here. I'm going to add a couple more. I just gave it some snips. There you go. Stick that on. Another way you can make feathers if you don't have feathers is you can use your hand, and your hand can be the feathers. The fingers will make the feathers for your peacock. So now these pieces would get glued on right here, however you want. I'm going to do every other color, but you could also do it where you do, actually I'm going to do it this way. You can do 2 and 2. If you're also having trouble with the glue, instead of glue, you could use tape. You could just kind of tape it and I would wrap it around the popsicle stick if you use tape. Now our kits are going to have, I think it did 4 or 5 small ones, but I think it looks, for me, it was better just to do 2, because I feel like once you put him on, once you put his body on, you won't really see them. And before you glue it, you can practice where you want them, because he has to be positioned just right too, because you don't want to hide them behind him. Or her. Oops. Okay, and then we have our peacock. And next, you can use whatever colors you want. If you want your peacock to be really colorful, use lots of different colors. If you want to be a little bit more true to a real peacock, you can use the green feathers in the background. And you can make these green and blue and yellows. The feathers and the pipe cleaners. And as I said, I chose the peacock because the peacock is the national bird of India. So in here too. I didn't glue everything down because I want to be able to use this again. But you will want to make sure you glue it all down. It's either white glue or hot glue. If you use hot glue, make sure you're very careful. An adult should be helping you with the hot glue. But if you're not comfortable with hot glue, white glue will work. You just have to be patient with drying. Alright, so I hope you have fun making this project, and I hope to see some of you at the library to pick up a peacock kit. And like I said, you don't even have to come in. You could just call us and ask for a kit, and we will bring it out to the car for you. And the same thing with the books. You can put the books on hold, and when they are ready for you, we can bring them to your car, or you can come in to pick them up. So I hope you have fun, and I will see you next week when we visit Africa. Have a good weekend. Bye.